Well, hello there, YouTube land. We are continuing working on this 2001 Yamaha 350 Warrior. So, finally getting to the point that I am dealing with the intake manifold, which goes between the carburetor and the head. So, obviously most people that are watching this probably already know that. So, what I thought was just kind of like a little backfire or leak or something like that. When I took the air box out, which has been a whole nother project, literally the carburetor just dropped. So the intake manifold, which I don't know, looks to be some sort of molded plastic, was completely just apart. I mean, here's part of it. This looks like a rubber band. So what we will be installing is the Yamaha, that one right there. Give you a second so you can get the number. And the ring that goes with it. So, like I said, you know, this is already fallen apart. This is a part that bolts onto the head. The part that bolts on the carburetor is, well, still on the carburetor. And we will be getting both of them off here shortly. So, I broke that one loose. I did not break this one loose. So we will see. We'll see how tough this bottom one is. There we go. So pretty much once you break them loose, well, they're loose. So hand tight. Hey, what's up, sweetie? You know we have water in the fridge, right? We have water in the fridge in there. I guess the little one wants outside water today. So, 2 hex heads. Using number 6 Duralast. I don't know really how much that means. I don't want to misplace it. So. I don't know how stuck this thing's supposed to. Well, I guess not stuck at all. Just like that, it comes off. Sorry about shaking the camera. I didn't realize my rag was under it. Truth be told, that's pretty dirty inside, but I'm not about to do a head job or a valve job on this. I'll just be happy when it's running again and the chain actually works. All right, so next one is pulling off the nut off this carburetor. Like I said, it literally just came loose. I'm not trying to mess with the throttle linkage and all that, so but I will put it right here and leaking a little bit of fuel on me. It's alright, I'll have a shower. So this nut is a 12 millimeter. So you got 2 studs coming out of the carburetor. I actually did break these loose a little bit earlier. Man, they were on there pretty good, I'll tell you that much. So there are washers on this one as well. Again, 12 millimeter, and that is what it is. So this feels more like rubber. The new one feels more like hardened plastic. So that's the way this fit together. You see that? And so that's a male, female. Hope I didn't just offend somebody. Actually, doesn't matter. But anyway, so that's what it's supposed to look like. O-ring on this side, no O-ring on carburetor side. So this is the head side. So it does look like that it has a little bit of something in it. I'm not sure, some sort of gasket sealer maybe. Go ahead and put this O-ring in there. Mash it down nice and tight. Move that carburetor out of the way. Get our two number 6 hex bolts. Go ahead and get it going in. Now that one, it's just hard rubber. So shiny and new. Yeah. It's funny whenever when it's together, a little more difficult to get a ratchet on it. It's about the amount of torque that was on it whenever I took them off. Now, if you look at the manual, it'll actually tell you how much torque tightening torques, carburetor mounting nuts, carburetor clamp hose, exhaust system, exhaust muffler, exhaust pipe. Well, carburetor mounting bolts is 12 foot-pounds. That is the intake to head. Doesn't say. So I'm going to say what I did was about right, whatever that was. Just make sure. Yep. Yes, if it comes apart, I'll tighten it back up. So now it's time to go ahead and put carburetor nuts on. So I'm going to try to reposition this. think that's a pretty good position. Hopefully these go on pretty easily. So that's at a totally different angle than it was when I took it off. I suspect the angle is different because the new intake manifold isn't torn in half. So we'll see how that works once I go to put the air intake back in. So I'm not going to tighten this down all the way, truth be told, right now, because I do want a little bit of wiggle. So whenever I go to put the air intake on, I'm not fighting such a stiff carburetor, right? So I got a little bit of movement, but I do want my nuts on enough that they're not going to fall off. So I'm putting them about flush, putting the nuts about flush with the stud on that side. So, well, next thing I'll be working on is the air intake box, which I was working on a little earlier. However, I've been playing arts and crafts. So this is what I took out, right? You already saw earlier that the sleeve, new sleeve, part number, picked it up at Cycle Shack North. They did not have any cork gasket or the gasket that I needed, which keeps this snug in that hole right there. In order for me to get that gasket, I needed to buy a whole new one of these, and that was 56 bucks. Well, I went over to O'Reilly's and I asked if they had any cork. So I got a cork sheet. I got the thickest they had, and currently I had to put two of them together. I did some arts and crafts, and voila, there is the cork gasket. Sealant I used was Mega Blue RTV silicone. Well, and that's just because that's what I had. And then that's what I used to apply pressure to it. So looks pretty sticky, pretty tacky. Fits pretty well. Again, little arts and crafts. I don't know if y'all can see or not, truth be told. Okay, so you can't see. So I think my gasket sealer stuff is all nice and stuck together. Guess we'll go ahead and just do this now. So it is a bit snug, a bit more snug than I had anticipated, but I only had one size gasket cork, so I'd say that's pretty snug in there. I don't know how well y'all can see that. The sun's going down, so kind of dark in my garage. Let's go ahead and move this over a little bit. Now that we have there fitted in there well, of course, what do? You take it back out. Again, there's the air filter number. Now this is only like a $14 air filter, right? This is factory recommended. This is Yamaha. But if you want to go out and get you a KNC, I think it is, washable. I've heard really good things about them. However, they're $75 and I don't need a $75 air filter. So this comes pre-oiled. So that's a good thing. Nice and oily. Here's the end cap. This is what keeps it tight. You put it on, get half a turn. So the way this works is that the front goes down in that, but the back just sits right there on this. I don't know. It's just kind of supposed to hold it up. So that's why I did 2 gaskets up here to ensure that it fit well and didn't lag in the back. So snug as a bug in a rug. So since we're go ahead and put that top back on.